Good morning, wherever you are. This is Vesper Quill from ConferenceHype. From the May 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this journal review looks at neoadjuvant durvalumab plus or minus tremelimumab in combination with dose-dense methotrexate, vinblastine, doxorubicin, and cisplatin in muscle-invasive bladder carcinoma. Results of the Phase 1-2 NEMIO study. Background: to evaluate the efficacy and safety of neoadjuvant dose-dense methotrexate, vinblastine, doxorubicin, and cisplatin, combined with durvalumab plus or minus tremelimumab in patients with muscle-invasive bladder cancer. Methods: NEMIO is a multi-center, randomized, non-comparative Phase 2 trial in CT2T4AN0, 1 cisplatin-eligible MIBC, planned for radical cystectomy. Results: from 2018 to 2022, 119 patients received DD-MVAC plus durvalumab or DD-MVAC plus durvalumab plus tremelimumab. 113 underwent RC. Discussion: neoadjuvant DD-MVAC plus durvalumab demonstrated encouraging pathologic complete response rates, favorable early survival outcomes, and manageable safety profile. From the May 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this journal review looks at Phase 1 study of telisotuzumab adazudican, a novel c-Met antibody drug conjugate.
This is ConferenceHype. Stay with us. Coverage continues.
And advanced solid tumors. Background: the antibody drug conjugate Temab comprises the c-Met targeting antibody telisotuzumab conjugated to a novel topoisomerase 1 inhibitor payload, adazudican. Methods: Temab was administered intravenously once every 3 weeks as a monotherapy starting at 1.6 mg/kg in dose escalation. Results: from all patients in the dose escalation and the monotherapy metastatic colorectal cancer dose expansion. Discussion: Temab at 2.4 mg/kg once every 3 weeks has a tolerable and manageable safety profile, with promising anti-tumor activity. This is ConferenceHype. Stay with us. Coverage continues. From the April 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this journal review looks at duvelisib induces deep responses in peripheral T-cell lymphoma. Final results of the Phase 2 PRIMO trial of duvelisib in relapsed refractory peripheral T-cell lymphoma. Background: peripheral T-cell lymphomas are rare, heterogeneous, aggressive lymphomas. Methods: PRIMO was conducted in 2 phases at 45 centers globally. Results: PRIMO-EP outcomes included independent review committee-assessed discussion. The PRIMO study demonstrates significant activity and tolerability of duvelisib in patients with RRPTCL, most notably in the AITL subgroup. This is ConferenceHype. Stay with us. Coverage continues. From the May 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this is a review covering perioperative toripalimab plus chemotherapy versus chemotherapy alone in locally advanced gastric or gastroesophageal junction cancer. 3-year follow-up of NEOSUMMIT-01 trial. The NEOSUMMIT-01 trial previously showed that adding the PD-1 antibody toripalimab to perioperative chemotherapy improved the pathologic response in patients with locally advanced gastric or gastroesophageal junction cancer. Here, we present the event-free survival and overall survival after extended follow-up. A total of 108 patients were enrolled. This is a good review on the topic, well worth reading in full in this issue of Journal of Clinical Oncology.
This is ConferenceHype. Stay with us, coverage continues.
From the May 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this journal review looks at efficacy and safety of anselamimab in immunoglobulin light chain amyloidosis, results from the randomized CARES trials. Background: in immunoglobulin light chain amyloidosis, amyloid fibrils cause organ dysfunction. Methods: newly diagnosed patients with European modification of Mayo 2004 stage EA, or EIB-AL amyloidosis, were randomly assigned to receive anselamimab or placebo with cyclophosphamide, bortezomib, and dexamethasone. Results: among 406 randomly assigned patients, the primary endpoint win ratio for anselamimab versus placebo was 1.11, and the hazard ratio for ACM was 0.8. Discussion: treatment with anselamimab, an antifibril antibody used alongside antiplasma cell dyscrasia therapy, while not meeting the primary endpoint in the overall population, significantly improved ACM and CVH in patients with kappa-Al, potentially offering a new therapeutic option for this isotype. From the June 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this is a review covering tumor-agnostic therapies, translating scientific breakthroughs into global implementation.
This is
Cancer
ConferenceHype.
treatment is
Stay with us,
evolving from
coverage
organ-based
continues.
classification toward biomarker-driven precision medicine, culminating in the development of tumor-agnostic therapies approved based on molecular characteristics, irrespective of tumor origin. Since the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's landmark 2017 approval of pembrolizumab for microsatellite instability high tumors, 9 tumor-agnostic drugs have been approved, offering unprecedented treatment options for patients with rare cancers and actionable genomic alterations. However, this is a good review on the topic, well worth reading in full in this issue of Journal of Clinical Oncology. From the May 2026 edition of Journal of Clinical Oncology, this journal review looks at addition of intravesical recombinant bacillus calmette-guerin to perioperative chemoimmunotherapy in muscle-invasive bladder cancer. Primary analysis of the single-arm, Phase 2 trial SAKK 619. Background: intravesical bacillus calmette-guerin is highly effective in non-muscle invasive bladder cancer, but has not been evaluated in MIBC. Methods: SAKK 619 was an open-label single-arm Phase 2 trial for CT2T4AN0, 1 MIBC eligible for cisplatin and radical cystectomy with lymph node dissection. Results: 47 patients were included between April 2022 and April 2025. Discussion: to our knowledge, this is the first trial combining intravesical RBCG with chemoimmunotherapy in MIBC, demonstrating high pathologic complete response and PAR rates that warrant